All right, today I'm going to be talking to you about my project using our voices to inform and inspire. I'm Taryn McKnight and I teach 8th grade language arts at YMS. So for this project, students are doing a combination of researching, brainstorming, planning, producing, and reflecting, as well as some connecting with community partners. So I kind of like to think of this as an everything but the research paper project. So they're being guided and scaffolded through every single step of the process of researching and writing a paper, except that they're producing a product that has a call to action rather than writing a traditional research paper. So within each area, there are smaller mini lessons for them to do. And some steps are more guided than others, which I will talk about a little later on. So why are they doing this? This PBL project really gives students a chance to practice some real world skills. So, those skills that we think of as like soft skills. So with collaboration, using our digital resources, being able to write a professional email, that was all part of this project. At a more school level, we were working on this because argumentation and research are two really large Indiana state standards for 8th graders, and this was a way to get them engaged with those. One of the most influential and biggest reasons why I chose the specific structure for the project I did was because I wanted students to be able to collaborate a little bit more, particularly this year, when I think collaboration has been difficult and those opportunities haven't been as plentiful as previous non-pandemic years. So kind of like how I guided students through brainstorming. So we started talking about issues facing the community and the larger world. We did a couple different guided brainstorming activities before students chose their partners and topics. We did mini lessons on argument and research. We did some examples together of what that looked like. We went old school with research, and I actually had students using note cards to track resources that they were reading and possibly using. Those parts were definitely the more structured parts of the project. Students did get to choose their topic pretty much 100%, which was interesting. It was awesome to see how different the topics were. It got really a lot looser in terms of structure when students were building, planning, producing. So we're actually in this phase now, and students are planning and starting to produce their products. And so it's kind of like controlled chaos. Every group is working on something different on a different day, and it's all about how they can figure out how to do it in a way that works for their group and their ultimate end goal. Reflecting, they have done periodically throughout the project. They will end up having 3 to 4 reflections with provided question stems. So those are individual pieces of a group project, which I think gives it a nice touch because I get to see what each student is experiencing as a member of the group. And what success looks like, I've kind of had to reframe my mind this year because things are different in a pandemic. But to me, success looks like engagement, which I have seen pretty high engagement with the project, with the students. Students being passionate about what they're doing, so actually caring about what they're reading about, talking about. If they produce anything at all, I'm going to consider that a win this year. And the real part that I care about the most in terms of other than passion and engagement is students learning from the process. So I really want them to be able to recognize the areas where they were glowing and the areas where they can grow. And I think the reflections help us do that. So honestly, we're not even done, and I would consider it a successful project. Always room for improvement, but for this year, I'm calling it a win. So if you have questions, please feel free to send me an email.